pull out this inline 6 and replace it with a 12-valve Cummins.
Not every day you put an engine in a truck that the engine weighs more than a truck.
We're gonna have to make a lot of room that isn't there. And then we gotta make this extra strong to handle all that extra torque. I didn't know you even had a race truck.
Just another bad addiction.
This ain't one of them $200,000 builds, you know. We built that from the junkyard.
Might need to take that thing for a little ride.
Oh, wow, look at that.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
You know, the custom truck scene is so big on the north side of Houston. No matter what I need, whatever it is, I can pretty much get it from one of my neighbors. I need a drive shaft for one of my builds, so I'm gonna go see my old friend David and his son Daniel. They run a little salvage yard amongst...
How you doing? Good
What's
to see
happening?
you. Same old thing, hot, hot, hot.
I know, that's right.
Yep.
I can't work because I need some.
That's all right. What do you
That's what
need?
you always tell me, at least.
Yeah. What do you need?
Man, I need a 2-piece drive shaft. You know, we always mock up with those things, so...
Have to get them out, but yeah, we got them.
Whether it's their mud trucks or whatever they're interested in at the time, I always like seeing what they're up to. Sometimes I like taking them for a run.
No
Hey, what you got going on here?
Oh, that's a little race truck we've been working on.
What's up, Bill? What's going on, man?
What's happening, man?
Oh, you know, another day.
So you got your little Colorado and just got after it, huh? Man, let me check this thing out.
All right, let's take it down.
The customization comes in all sort of shapes, sizes. This is just a prime example of that, of just taking an old truck, cramming a big engine in it, big turbo, and just seeing how fast it'd go.
What do you think of this, Bill?
A little LS, huh?
Uh-huh.
Everybody got to have an LS nowadays.
Yup.
So, you know, we're just trying to get in where we're fitted, man.
Yeah, you had to make a little room here for the turbo, I see.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little. You know, we still haven't put a hood on it.
You don't need all that. Man, I know y'all been building the big mud trucks, but I didn't know you even had a race truck.
Oh, you know, we have a little bit of everything, you know. You got us
Yeah.
into the airbags, and I got us into the mudding, and now just another bad addiction.
Something to spend money on.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How quick is this thing?
It does all right.
You know, we built this truck to roll.
I mean, of course, it's got an 88mm turbo.
Motors on the back, too.
Fresh new tires, that has no choice but to go.
Hey, it rolls out good. That nitrous works, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thing's cool, man. So you got the cage in here, you got the harness in here.
Oh, yeah, you got to have that. Trust me, you're going to want to use those.
Come over to get a drive shaft, stumble across the Colorado with the crazy LS in it, turbo. It's a good day.
All right, guys, we got to go out back and get that drive shaft built, Niece.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Anytime, sir.
These guys are the ultimate backyard builders. They take whatever they got, turn it into something cool. Right now, for them, it's all about speed, and the faster, the better. You know, I'm all about pushing the limits on my builds, so I can definitely understand putting a big engine in a small space. But it's the fun part of doing what we do. You know, I had a customer, Monty, give me a call, said come check out a project that he had for me. And rolling up here today, man, his place is really impressive. Hey, Monty.
Bill, how you doing?
Hey, man, good.
Nice to
Good
see
morning.
you.
Yeah, man, good to see you. Thanks for having me out.
Absolutely.
So you got a little project for me, huh?
Well, I do. I think it's something you'll really like to take a swing at.
Man, let's check it out.
Okay, great.
Man, that's nice. I'm super impressed. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. He's got a couple 1930 Chevys, a 63 AMC Rambler American, and this 1954 Henry J. is one of only 325 ever.
Got some stuff I've had in here for 30 years and stuff that I just acquired, so
Nice.
a little mix of everything.
Yeah. Which one of these you got for me?
Well, it's this 37 International here. It needs some of your help.
Man, that's a good-looking truck. It's pretty rare to find a 1937 International D2 Harvester in this good a shape. 80 years ago, these were giving Ford and Chevy a run for their money. I just love these body styles on this. It was different. It's not, you know, the Ford and the Chevy that everybody has.
Yeah, they're not that common. It's just amazing to find them in this kind of shape.
Yeah, it looks like it's in great shape.
Yeah.
So, Monty, what do you want to do with this thing?
I love the look. I want to drive it, but it's just not that much fun to drive.
What's under the hood of this?
Well, I think you're going to know what's in there.
Inline.
An old Chevy motor
6.
somebody put in probably 20 years ago when the old International engine quit.
Years ago, it was
Yeah.
a little upgrade, but definitely not anymore. Man, I think, Monty, what this thing needs, international truck, put a Cummins diesel in it.
A diesel?
You can get plenty of power now in the diesel that just smoke the tires off, no problem.
But it would have to make noise, though. When you start it up, I want to wake up the neighbors.
Oh, it's definitely going to make some noise.
Okay, good.
And with a diesel power plant, we need to stop this thing. And with stopping comes with new suspension. What's this got underneath here? Oh, straight axle on this?
Yeah, bounce, 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 you know.
We just need brakes, new wheels and tires, really make this thing handle and ride like a modern car. Once we're done with the foundation of this old truck, this thing is gonna ride and perform like it's supposed to. What about the interior in this thing?
You know, that seat that's in there is about as comfortable as a buckboard wagon. You bounce around, and you hang onto the steering wheel to keep from flying out of the doors. I would leave it to you guys to figure out a way to make that comfortable.
Definitely. I think about this build, it's all about making a custom interior for this that doesn't detract away from the 37 styling. Make it comfortable for you and your wife and still have a nice feel to it.
That I like.
What are we doing back here?
Well, what I'd really like to do is customize this a little bit. My family had a grocery store and a gas station in Alliance, Nebraska, and they had old pickups like that, so I thought maybe I could put Cashner Grocery on here, and it's a little tribute to my dad.
Yeah, we can definitely come up with something with that.
Yeah, I'm sure with your creativity, we can do a lot better than this, but,
I really like when I can tie something personal into a build, and this wood in the bed is a perfect opportunity. I'm ready to get going on this thing, man. It's going to be exciting. It'll be fun.
I think so. It'll be different.
We'll give you the full Monty.
Oh, I love it. I love
it. This truck is 80-plus years old. We got to get rid of everything and start over. I don't care who you are. Old trucks are cool. Anytime we get to work on a piece of history like this, it's something special. Monty wants something custom, but he wants something to still really look authentic. Something that still has the 30s feel, but he can get in, start it up, and drive it wherever he wants. Builds like this are super cool to me. You get to keep a truck like this on the road and still get to put my spin on it. It doesn't get better than that.
What are you doing?
What's up?
Remember in old times when you used to do that for a living at the service station?
Yeah. This is a customer of ours, Monty. He wants to modernize it, customize it, but he wants to keep the 37 styling.
And it's actually pretty good shape for a 37.
Yeah, this thing's in real good shape. I'm thinking on this, let's pull out this old inline 6 and replace it with the inline 6. But not just the inline 6, the 12-valve Cummins.
Cummins? We're gonna put a Cummins in here?
Yeah.
It's not gonna fit real easy.
No, it isn't just a drop in, drop out. It's an inline 6 to inline 6, but he's a little bit involved with that, right? A wall all out and just making a lot of room that isn't there. Monty's a pretty tall guy, so we want to build the sheet metal around the engine as tight as we can. So it gives him a lot more foot room in it. And with that, we want some upgrades underneath the front end also. It has a straight axle underneath this thing. Doesn't stop, doesn't ride, doesn't drive
like a
good.
stagecoach with a straight axle under this thing.
Yeah. We're going to build independent front suspension for it with some nice disc brakes on it and a big 20-inch wheel with the same overall styling that's on there now.
That's gonna look really nice. What are we gonna do about the interior?
Check this thing out. As you can see, no frills here, right?
Man, I've seen farm tractors with more options than this.
Right. We want a comfortable seat. We want to change out the column to something a little more ergonomic. And we're going to put new glass in it, too, because, just the full interior.
This is Bill's. It's just a
a
couple
little
things.
bit. It's a 5-minute job.
Yeah, it's an
hour-ish.
As far as the back goes, check this out. Back here, of course, we're going to get it down with coilovers also. Put a Ford 9-inch in it, fuel cell.
Yeah.
On the bed of the truck, his family has had a grocery store throughout the years. So he wants to put, a little plaque on the wood here to commemorate his family history and the store they've had. Well, man, let's get this thing on the rack and let's figure out how we're going to get the engine out of this thing and put that other one in.
All right.
As good as this truck looks after 80 years, you just don't know what Tim and Jamie are going to find after tearing down.
Oh, man, what do you think? Old baling wire right here. Old coat hanger right here.
Gas tank's had a couple issues in the past. You can see where they patched it a couple times. That's little crevices from the local hardware store.
Check that out.
Man, I know my grandfather do whatever it took to stay out in the field. He farmed that field from the time the sun came up to the sun went down. This looks exactly like something he would have pulled off to keep the tractor running. Well, enough looking at it. Let's get it done.
Man, look at this right here. That big old arch in it. Looks like they definitely might have jumped it once or twice.
Man, I'd have loved to have seen this thing going through the air.
Imagine how it felt like that. I really like working on trucks like this because you get to see how they did it back in the day. These were made by hand, you know, an assembly line instead of now like the cars made by robots and machinery. It's a different kind of feel when you're working on a vehicle like this. It's a piece of history. Ready?
Probably good.
Can you lift up?
Can you pry right there with the pry bar?
Yeah. I'm gonna pry it out and it's gonna flip up. Okay, back up just a little bit. Okay, up. Up, 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 up. All right.
I want to go with the Cummins 12 valve in the International. I like the contrast of putting one of the toughest diesels ever made in such a classic truck. They stopped making the 12 valve back in 1998, so I had to have the Wells family find one. What's up, fellas?
What's up, brother? We got your diesel.
There it is.
This it, huh?
Yes, sir.
12 valve. Where'd you get this thing at?
Out of 97 Dodge, ready to go, bro. We got the same engine in our drag truck.
This 1,100-pound, 5.9-liter engine has over 400 foot-pounds of torque. But what makes this stand out is its durability.
Man, this thing looks like hell, but it runs good, right? It's gonna run good.
She's solid, bro.
It has a fully mechanical fuel injection system, so it basically self-lubricates. This thing will pretty much outlive us all.
This is exactly what we needed.
Glad we could help. The 12 beat these things. Once this thing's all done, we'll have awesome fuel mileage and this much power in that little of a truck.
It's gonna get it, that's for sure.
It's huge, man. Watch out, Tim. Not every day you put an engine in a truck that the engine weighs more than a truck. It's pretty unique.
This is gonna be fun.
We got a ton of support underneath here. We're gonna start by leveling the body and frame all back up. We don't want to go in and just cut the whole firewall out and the whole floor out and just create a lot of problems. We're just getting it in, seeing what the next cuts need to be.
Kind of put it half-ass center, Jamie?
Man, that's pretty close right there, Bill.
So it's just a little at a time. Cut a little bit, inch it in a little bit, see what else you have to cut a little more, inch it in, get a little at a time so you don't have this huge opening in the firewall to have to recreate later.
You know, getting this heavy engine in this truck is a challenge. But not only getting it in, you gotta get it mounted properly. Now we've made tabs off the frame back here. Got some tubing coming down, going over a center mount. It'll all be rubber mounted. The motor will be mounted on rubber. Transmission mounts will be mounted on rubber. We just totally reinforced it. It's not going nowhere. Ready? Pretty much anytime you go with a bigger engine, it's gonna come with a bigger transmission. So I'm making a bigger trans tunnel and a new subfloor. So we came in with some 3/4 inch square tubing, built a new structure. That's gonna be the skeleton that holds the new floor. So we'll cut some sheet metal. The sheet metal will connect the firewall to the floor. Then we'll come in and make one engine cover and we'll be done with the floor. There's several ways to do this, but me personally, I like to bend as many bends as I can. It's less places you have to weld to do and less heat on the panel. I'm gonna drill some holes so when I push it down from the top, I can weld it from the top. And you look up from the bottom, you don't see any welds, you don't see anything, it's all slicked out and looks good.
Back when this International rolled off the factory, it would have been hard to imagine the torque we're putting into it. So we got to build a whole new super heavy-duty suspension, starting with these control arms.
From the center of the bolt hole to the center of the ball joint cup, we've laid out for exactly 10 inches. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna build some pipe to come over to connect the ball joint to the bushing. That's gonna be the structure of our control arm. Now go in here, All this will be welded together, and the plate will be welded on this to make everything extra strong. We need the transmission jack over here. Go up a little bit. So once we got the bottom control arm on, we put the spindle on, the rotor on, make sure everything functions, everything's good, then we'll make the coilover mounts. These two tabs right here are gonna weld to the plate. Watch your finger. The plate is gonna hold the bottom of the coilover, and the plate's connected to the control arm. That's what's gonna hold the truck up in the air and give it adjustment. Cycle it up and down, see how good it stays up and down, and we'll go from there.
Front suspension's all mocked up, so Tim and Jamie are moving to the rear and start notching the frame.
The stock frame rails have a natural curve over the rear axle, so we're just gonna open up the notch a few inches. It'll maintain the structural integrity while overall changing the stance and look of the truck.
What I need to do now is contour this flat bar to the shape of this radius right here. So sometimes it's about just getting your piece pretty close and then just forming it in as you go. So I'll start cranking it with this C-clamp, just getting it in the shape. And I'll keep it packing well. So you can see the inside now, it's capped. It's got a nice shape to it. It's contoured to the template. I need to go ahead and weld that in, grind it down, and be good to go. I actually like the way this looks. It looks better than the original. It's got a little bit of style to it, nice shape. It's gonna look good on the frame.
Dave and Daniel's truck looked good in the garage, so they invited me out to Houston Motorsports Park to see Daniel take some runs.
Man, that thing looks mean with that big old turbo thing in the grill. It looks like fun for sure.
This ain't one of them $200,000 builds, you know. We built that from the junkyard.
Just what you had, just make it work.
So far, it's been doing good.
Man, Dave, that old truck's running good. Looks like it's hooking up good, going straight. It's making a little power, too.
Hey, it ain't bad for a backyard build. I think it goes.
You know, for Daniel to make it run as good as it does, you know, they did a real good job. Oh, Daniel can drive pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah. I showed him how to do that. He's got it.
Me and Dave go way back. He came over and watched me ride my bike around the neighborhood. You know, now I'm out watching his kid doing his thing. You know, Northside, we're all a big family. We all know each other. We all look out for each other, especially if you got something cool going on. We may not come from the nicest part of town, but we do know how to make do from what we have times 100. It's just really cool to see. You know, I try to keep that mentality in everything we do. Always pushing ourselves to go from here to here.
One more little nudge. There we go, that's it on the money.
We got an extra large diesel for this 37 International. So we got to build an extra strong custom 4-link for the suspension.
The crossmember here is pretty much the most important part of the rear suspension. Everything trails off of this. So all of our suspension 4-link components mount to the crossmember. The diesel engine that we're putting in here, it's got a lot of torque. So this is super important for it to be strong, square, and level. Snug. You know, in this particular application, the parallel 4-link is the way to go because it has 4 points of contact linking the axle to the crossmember. The more points of contact you have, distributes that torque all around, so it's less pressure on the axle itself.
It's good right there. Now the next step is our diagonal link. That's the final link of the whole link system. With the diagonal link from a fixed point to the point on the rear end at an angle, it keeps the rear end from moving side to side. Very key part of the suspension.
Watch your face.
Now we have all this set up. We're gonna run 2 tabs off here, 2 tabs off here. That's what's gonna hang the coilover.
We're going with coilovers instead of airbags on this because he wants a static drop with great performance.
It's a coilover a shot. The suspension's gonna ride on the coil spring of this. It's gonna travel up and down with the coilover. And the internal of it acts as a shock. These are our mock-up coilovers we use for everything. When it gets back from powder coat, we'll put the other coilovers on with the new springs, and you'll see the final setup.
Up this, we're going to reshape these fenders so we can get that big old wheel in the back. And it'll make it meaner and look a little more modern.
The way this fender is shaped, it rolls down in the back and it rolls down in the front. We'd only be able to run a tire about this wide. So we need to extend the top of this fender over to the bedside so we'll be able to fit a wide wheel in it. So we marked a bunch of high spots on it. So you cut along that high spot. So when you continue over, it doesn't look like it goes up, comes down, and then continues over. So this is the half of the fender we're gonna keep. The other half of the fender we left bolted to the bed. So we know exactly where to line this back up. A little trick I've learned in the past. If you have a little strip like this, cut the first piece, the outer side, the most important side, leave it attached to the metal, do all your final grinding before you cut the second one. This makes it a lot easier to work with. Basically what we're doing is making this flange to hold it to the bedside. This is gonna bolt to the bedside. The fender will weld to this. We're gonna tack this back onto this fender. Now the template in the back is the same as this radius on the outside. We'll come in here and we'll cut a section out of the back. Then we'll sheet metal from here to the template, tack it, get that. The flange that we built is what's gonna hold it to the bedside. We can unbolt that. The whole fender comes off in one piece. We have a widened fender ready for them big fat tires. It's what the truck needed in the back instead of that little...
Definitely.
It looked like a motorcycle fender in the back, where now it looks like a fender.
You had to throw something in there about a motorcycle. Yeah. I don't think so.
We're putting a lot of custom upgrades into the International. But when it comes to the interior, we're gonna refurbish the seats to still keep some of that 1930s look. The hard part about using the old seats, sometimes the springs just twist and break. There's not a lot of guys that's still around that can fix these, but Joe's been doing this longer than I've been around. Man, I got a 37 International. It's still, you know, a vintage-looking truck, and I want to keep that vintage feel with a little more modern touch.
Yeah, we'll get rid of all this horsehair, and I'll put some nice comfort foam on there and tie the springs up, fix the framework.
Man, you know what I need.
Nothing to it, buddy. I've been helping you for years. You think I'm gonna stop now?
Better not.
No problem, buddy.
Let's get it loaded up.
All right. Bill, when I first built this first building, Bill only had a little bitty shop right there in front. And he said, oh, I can do that. And I said, yeah, no problem. But he never stopped. He just kept going, building more and more and more. Oh, wow. This broke right there. That used to go there, and this used to go to here. So we're gonna have to bend a new edge wire and put it in here to attach these springs back together, make it a permanent part of the seat. Where's Bill at when you need him? I need a welder, man. But I've done this ever since I was a kid. They used to make them a lot better than they do now. Now, they don't have springs in the seats no more. They just got foam on them. They're not as comfortable. I think we need to get this right here. These young guys now, all they do is fix foam. So if you need your springs fixed, you gotta come to an old guy like me. We're starting to get a shape to the seat. And we're gonna put a piece of carpet on here to keep the springs from cutting up through the foam. We wrap these edges. We're fixing to make our patterns. We're gonna make it out of another material that's not our leathers. Watch your fingers. That way we don't Make no mistakes with the expensive material. This is our black leather we're gonna make our seats out of. It's nice, pliable, soft. Let's see how it looks. Now all we gotta do is staple this down, and we're gonna have a good-looking leather seat. We got one seat down, and one more to go, and we'll get this back to Bill.
You know, Monty loves the vintage feel of this truck, but he wants modern touches on it. So I called my boy Lewis in. He's gonna build some wood panels for the side of this bed, still give it that vintage feel, but with custom touch. What's up, man? Man, need your help again.
All right. What do we got?
Monty would like to pay a little homage to his family's history. His dad has had, you know, grocery stores in the past. I need a wood panel for each side of the bed and put their name in the bedside here somewhere.
Yeah, that'll look good.
You know, the wheels are going to be a charcoal. The inside's all dark. So I'd like, you know, a dark stain on this thing, too, so it ties everything together.
Okay. Well, if you're going charcoal on the wheels, we could do something really cool and go with a Shosugiban finish.
A what?
A Shosugiban finish. The traditional Japanese finish used to preserve wood, and what we'll actually do is char the wood to give it that charcoal appearance.
It will be charcoal.
I've never seen it on another truck. Nobody else would. Sounds good.
Ready to get it?
Take this over here and get started.
We're going to take this piece, take our router and route it to the exact shape and give it a little profile on the edge. We're going to put some nice styling on the sides of it so it's not square, and it gives it a really nice detailed edge. All we have to do now is put the Shosugiban finish on it. So we're gonna fire up the torch and get started. So it's really important whenever you're doing a Shosugiban finish that you keep the flame moving. We don't want to keep it concentrated in one spot too long because it could potentially catch on fire, and we definitely don't want that. So as you can see, as we're doing this, it starts to really highlight the grain of the wood. And what that's doing is it's burning out the softwood of the oak and just exposing that hardwood, starting to look really, really nice. Get that look that Bill was going for when he said he wanted the charcoal gray. You know, what better look to give them than an actual piece of burnt wood? Now I'm gonna wet it down just so it doesn't get too hot. Now you can see how all that water is beaded up now. So we're really starting to get what we're looking for, not just the look, but this bed will be protected for many years to finish done. We're going to get the letters engraved onto this, and then it'll be ready to put on the truck.
You know, for me, one of the best parts of building custom builds is that it's art. But this ain't no sculpture, we get to drive them. And the more I think about David and Daniel's drag truck, the more I want to give it a run. You know, I at least gotta ask.
Look like they're around here, so they're probably out back messing around.
Mud hole my sh.
Oh, man. You're gonna have to come get us. Man, here we are. Little shortcut turned into getting stuck. And that's one thing I hate, being stuck in the mud.
And once again, we got to come and save Bill's ass. Once again. You know, when I come back there seeing Bill stuck in that mud and he had on them pearly white shoes, I just could not believe it.
I think we're getting some boots for Christmas.
Yeah, the real tall ones, the waders.
There you go.
What's up, man?
I don't know much, man. Need a little help here?
Man, please, dude.
We take care of you. Already know that.
Don't get it all muddy, Bill.
You didn't bring me a blanket to lay on?
Sure.
You know, I wanted to talk to you about that race truck.
Do I need to go get it to pull you out?
Nah, I don't recommend that.
Man, I might need to take that thing for a little ride.
I don't know. Look what you're doing back here.
Oh, you never been stuck before, huh?
No.
You know, we're going to take it out next weekend, man, but I think we got other problems now. How about next weekend?
You won't let me drive?
She's ready.
Anytime,
Oh, yeah.
man.
All right, cool, man.
Let's get you out of this right now, Bill.
Hey, he ain't moving. He's not centered. And to go backwards.
Man.
You know, sometimes getting people out of the mud, it's easy, but other days it's a lot of work.
You know, I enjoy that part of off-roading. You're gonna get stuck, you know.
All right.
These things happen.
This bumper's for looks, so.
It's gonna look good behind this Jeep.
Let's do it.
Come on, you got it. Straighten up, Bill. Straighten up.
Man, thank you.
Anytime, Bill.
Thank you.
Anytime.
So, next weekend?
Oh, yeah. The truck's ready.
Man, appreciate it. I'll see you then.
We got you. We got you.
You know, I appreciate David and Daniel inviting me out today. I can't wait to get in that driver's seat, see what this thing can do.
Back. Yeah, there you go.
So, Daniel, tell me about it real quick, man. Give me a little tutorial.
All right, make sure your steering wheel's latched on. You got your water pump here. You're gonna go all the way back to first gear. Bam.
First?
Yes, sir. Second.
That's it?
When you let go of that button, you're going for a ride.
You're leaving.
Cool, man. I got this. Let me suit up and let's see what this thing really do.
Let's do it.
Yeah. You gotta have this on?
In case you catch on fire.
I know you like to go in circles, but we'll see how your driving skills are straight.
Keep it straight.
You got it,
Hey,
man.
hey, you got this, brother.
Appreciate
You
it.
got it. You
Appreciate
got
it.
it. Handle it.
You know, even just from starting to doing a burnout, I can feel, you know, this thing's got a little power.
There it goes. See what's going right here. Oh, yeah.
Not bad for first pass.
Yep.
Man, releasing that button, feeling just the torque of this engine, the power pulling you back in the seat and just holding this thing straight the whole time. Man, it's just exhilarating, exhilarating, exhilarating.
Well, what do you think, man? What do you think? What up? What up? What do you think?
Oh, truck runs good, boy.
Uh-huh.
And the 6 is on the first pass?
That's rolling.
You know, it's a great way to start off your day. You don't need coffee or energy drink. Adrenaline rush is the best way to get it going. Man, that was fun, man. I tell you what, I've been needing that. You know, working so hard at the shop, man, you just get in the grind and get to come out here on a day like this and really release some frustrations, man. It just clears your mind, and
hey,
I needed it, man. I really appreciate that.
Does that baby roll or what?
It does, man. It runs really good.
When we gonna build one?
You better
Might
watch
need to do
out.
that.
It's in the 6's first pass.
Oh, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
To fit the 12-valve diesel and the 37 International, we had to pull off the turbo, amongst other things. Once this thing is running, the Wells family is going to have to figure out how to put all that stuff back on there and make the hood close.
Not a lot of room under the hood of this thing.
Yeah, Bill, for sure. I can tell we're gonna have to move this charger, run a new custom intake to the compressor on the charger, return line, oil lines, fuel lines. This thing will fire up today, no problem.
Cool. Let me know
Let's make
if
it
you need
happen.
something, man.
Thank you, bro. So we got a big engine, very little space. So first things first, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this turbo. We're gonna have to move this manifold, pull it in more, so you can run any exhaust or piping in here that we need to do. That's gonna be tight, especially if it's there.
We're gonna have to lower it.
Yeah, if we can cut this off and weld that flat and drop it down, then I can put a 90 there.
We're going to have to modify the exhaust manifold and move the turbo up and forward so we'll have room for the downpipe. Because this turbo weighs so much, we want to keep as much metal on this manifold as we can, give us more welding surface, and keep this area as strong as possible. All right, that looks good. Let's pack it up.
All right, I think we're ready to go, guys. All right, Clay, work the starter. TJ, when you start getting fuel up there, Dad, just stand there, look pretty.
What we like about these 12 valves of 5.9 is that they're very, very tough and rugged. They're simple to work on, and...
Ready?
It's alive!
We got to run 12 valve, boys. Turbo's finished, fuel lines are ran. All that's left now is just to make it look pretty.
Well, it all started with this one right here.
The first truck I ever got was a 2001 Dodge. My mom drove it forever pulling her horses, and it quit running one day. He said, look, for your first truck, you fix it, it's yours. And I researched it, fixed it, it's went from there.
He started fixing his truck up and racing everyone around town. And before we knew it, everyone was calling him and dropping their trucks off in our front yard. Walked out of the door one day, and our yard was full of trucks. And we were like, well, I guess we better start a shop.
And then poor Clay got suckered into all this.
I was the dedicated flashlight holder for a long time. It was pretty great. I slowly graduated into more of the technical side of it.
Between the three of us, I mean, we can do anything.
You know, as a dad, I'm living the dream to be able to work with my sons every day. It's awesome. These two guys have taken this way further than I ever dreamed. I'm proud of them. I'm blessed.
Help me do this real quick.
We got the chassis back from Powder Coat on the 1937 International Harvester, and it's all hands on deck putting together the rolling chassis with custom 20-inch wheels and tires.
Bring it down just a little bit, Tom. Stop.
Looks at home right there, right?
Looks nice. Looks good.
You know, if you look from the outside, all the changes are pretty subtle, but this thing is completely transformed. You know, Monty had a tall order, keeping this truck with the farm truck feel, but something really cool and custom. There's next to nothing 30s underneath this truck anymore. You know, I hope he likes it, because I know I do. I gotta say, this is one of my favorites. I'm gonna give it back to Monty today, reluctantly.
Hey, man.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm excited. I got to tell you,
I'm excited for you, too. When I came to your house a while back, you wanted the farm truck vintage feel, but something you could just get in and drive and terrorize the neighborhood
and maybe
a little
irritate
bit.
the neighbors a little.
We definitely got you hooked up with that for sure.
The anticipation's about to get the best of me.
Let's check it out.
Okay, cool. Wow, look at that. That's amazing. Oh, man. Gee, Merry Christmas. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. Oh, the smell, the noise, the stance. It's perfect.
Like it?
Crazy. Hey, man, how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. I can't wait to see the nuts and bolts on this thing. This is crazy.
Once we got going on this thing, we just gutted everything. At one point, it was just a cab.
Just a cab and frame.
We started building from there. When you came in, this thing was pretty much 100% original. That's cool for the vintage look. As far as drivability, reliability, anything like that, that was non-existent on this thing. One of the main things I know you wanted was that diesel engine, so we got a Cummins 12 valve in this thing.
Put a 12-valve Cummins in this thing?
Wasn't an easy fit in this truck.
Oh, my God. Look at that. How in the world did you stuff that big motor in that little truck?
Pretty much only see the front 4 cylinders, right?
Yeah, that's it.
The other 2 are inside the cab.
Okay, good.
You know, that isn't an easy trick there. We cut out the old firewall, got it in place, and just pretty much built a new firewall, new transmission.
Easy. When I fire this up, I think all the neighbors around me are going to know that the old International's running. This all fits in there, and the hood closes, and it doesn't stick out. That is just off the scale cool.
We took out the old straight axle, the old rear end, and we just scrapped all that.
Yeah.
Built an independent front suspension, 4-link, a new 9-inch in the back with all coilovers all the way around.
This thing can handle any torque this engine puts out.
The attitude's right now. You see how this thing sits on the coilovers?
That's a perfect stance I wanted. Tire width, they're kind of like the old wheels that came off of it.
Right.
Exactly what I was looking for. It's amazing.
And to get it down that low, we had to reshape the rear fenders also.
You nailed it. They're not out of proportion. They match the front. It's perfect. Most people will never notice it. I had to look at it a couple times to see what had happened. All the subtle custom features that are really off the scale, you can't see them. They're so subtle, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Oh, man. Look at that. This truck had never had it so good.
Right.
You know? I mean, there was just bare metal here. That's awesome.
Still, you know, the original seat, but just, you know, totally redone. Still has that You know, the vintage look, but still has that custom feel also.
I'd say you nailed it because well, it's all brand new.
I think you're going to be just very comfortable inside there when you're passing everybody up.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, Monty, you had those steak pockets on the back.
Yeah.
Steak belongs on your plate, not on the bed. So we filled in all the holes where the steak pockets were. We moved the wood down on the bed sides, and it has a spot for your family son.
I like that a lot. Subtle, but it's important to me that it's on there.
Man, it was really nice to be able to work on something old like this, you know, from seeing like a Nebraska truck, then taking it to where we brought it today. It's nice to see a finished product and a happy customer like yourself.
Yeah. Man, you nailed it. Thank you guys very much. That is awesome. This crazy good. I can't wait to get out and take this thing down the road.
You know, once again, my guys killed it on this. Hey, Monty, enjoy this truck. You're going to have a lot of fun, you know, driving, cruising, and terrorizing the neighborhood. If you ever want to get rid of this thing, come on with it.